what are the 2 or 3 leadership qualities that were the same 50 years ago as you were kind of entering into this world and learning about this, content and style of influence? And so what are the things that are the same from 50 years ago? And then what is something maybe that is evolved in leadership and communication over the last decade that you see as a great asset to bring to the table and learn and develop and grow into as a leader?
That's a great question, Lewis. What got me into the leadership game was when I was in my 20s, I came to the conclusion, and this is what I'm known for, everything rises and falls on leadership. I became totally convinced of this. I studied successful people like you, and one day I can remember saying, the key to success is being able to lead well. And when I wrote the 21 Laws of Leadership, the first law is the law of the lid. How well you lead determines how well you succeed. So everything rises and falls on leadership. When I became convinced that that was true, I also became convinced that that was something worthy of my time, that I could give my life to that, because if it's true that everything rises and falls on leadership, if I can teach people how to lead, what an added value it's going to be to them. So that I knew 50 years ago. I'm 76 now. What's beautiful about that is today I believe it more than I believed at 26. It's
Wow.
been proven thousands of times that everything rises and falls on leadership. So I've given my life to something that really works and that
Yes.
is a true principle. So, and by the way, on rising, when leadership is good, there are 2 things that causes it to rise, and there are 2 things that causes it to fall. This is very simple. What causes leadership to rise is good leadership skills and good values. And you have to have both of them. You can't substitute one for the other. I know you have very good leadership skills, but they have very poor values. And what happens is if you have good leadership skills, but you don't have good values, you'll manipulate people, and you'll
Yes.
you'll be unfair to people. It's not right to manipulate people. So
What are 2 or 3 skills and values that you've seen have proven the test of time of all types of leadership in all industries and avenues of life?
well, one of the leadership skills that is so essential is a soft skill, but it's foundational for leadership, and that is good relationships. People won't go along with you if they can't get along with you.
Ooh.
So you have to really. In fact, I tell leaders all the time: quit leading. When you stop loving people, stop leading people, because it's not going to work if that makes sense to you. And so that's huge, and that's one of the things that we talk a lot about. The skill of the ability to cast vision.
To cast a vision, is that what you
To
said?
cast a vision. See, a lot of people can see something, but they can't cast it to make it contagious. And so,
How do you cast the vision to make it contagious?
well, it has to be contagious with you. And then secondly, you have to understand that you need others to accomplish it. So that's what causes you to cast it. See, so there are a lot of people that are successful, but they're not leaders. They have a vision for themselves. They have a vision for their entrepreneurial. Perhaps they have a vision for their business. And so they do very well for themselves, but they don't lead others to it. But, when the vision is bigger than you, you have no choice. You got to relate well to people. Then you have to make your vision contagious to people to get them to join you, because one is too small of a number to achieve greatness. And so you have to have the ability to develop and create teams. That's a huge leadership skill that you have to have. The values, obviously, the first value is just valuing people. That's You never add value to people that you don't value. You just don't do it. And so if I devalue people, and that's one of the things that's heartbreaking to me today in leadership, is the division that leaders cause. And great leaders unite their friends and divide their enemies. The leaders we have today, they divide their friends and unite their enemies. That's horrible. And so the ability to, to build a team, these are all good skills, but the value of valuing people and integrity, wow, you know,
When you're evaluating someone to be on your team, you've got a big vision, you've casted this vision, and you're evaluating someone to be on your team, and they say all the right things. How do you know if they've got the values of integrity or if they're just really good at saying the right things?
well, a lot of times people are just really good at saying the right things. And so when you bring people on your team, you do two or three things. You 360 degree them. In other words, you have your top players interview them also. Uh, you know, 20 eyes are better than two.
Sure.
And so you have them go out with them socially. You have them work a little bit of, in other words, and then you bring your team together and say, is this the right fit for us? Is this person us? And many times people have said, no, they're not us. And I probably would have hired them, but they saw things that I didn't see, and they helped me, not make a mistake. So I think collaboration is really essential in hiring. And I think when you're having a company, I think, companies lose people all the time and they bring people in. So the question is not, are people coming in? I mean, it's like a revolving door to a certain extent. The question is not, are people coming in and are people going out? The question is, who's coming in and who's going out? And,
Right.
from a 1 to a 10, if 8s and 9s are coming in and 2s or 3s are going out, oh, happy day.
Right.
Yeah. Hey,
Exactly.
but if 2s and 3s are coming in and 8s and 9s are going out, there's an awareness. So to go to your question, because it was such a great one.
Yes, sir.
Let me say this, because when I started off 50 plus years as a leader, all you had to do was see more than others see. That's the one thing that all great leaders have in common, is they see more than others see. They see a bigger picture. When you think of marriage, there are several leadership lessons I've learned from it, but one of them is the fact that you both have to give 100%. It's not 50-50. You hear people talk about, well, let's do 50-50. They're talking about equality, I know, in a relationship.